There's lots of people that ask about my trailer hitch. So today I'm going to go pick up the trailer and we'll see what's fallen off at this time when it's stored. I'm not joking. But anyways, I've got a trailer hitch that I need to put on here. Now I don't use the standard trailer hitch. I use what's called a ProPride hitch. So it's a little different, and let me show you. This part of it's actually really different. So this is no joke. This is a severely heavy. You don't have to have a 2.5 inch. They actually make 2 inch, what I used to have until I got this truck. Then I got the 2.5 inch. Now, I thought maybe it would be better because I didn't have to use the reducer, but honestly, there's no difference. I did it with the 2 inch and the reducer for a while, so this is really no different. I would not get the 2.5 inch if I didn't need to, because this weighs I think 75 pounds, and the 2 inch one I think weighs 50. It's noticeably different. So when you have to lift this, you know, up and down, it's a lot easier to do the 2 inch one. But you know, this is the standard, the same as the other. Okay, slide this guy in. So this part of it's pretty typical, you know, the standard connection there. And then of course when I get there, the difference is going to be when I get there and connecting, I have to connect this. They call this basically a stinger. It goes in a socket in the hitch. So I combine this with the hitch and then I connect it together, and it's so there's no ball. So it's a totally different animal, and it's a really amazing towing experience with it. So, but I do need to pull away from the garage area, because if I drop the garage now, it's going to hit this, because this thing extends a decent amount of room. So I need to pull forward and then shut the garage. And you need a drill to do I think you need a drill anyways. I need a drill. And you'll see why when we get there. And I always bring a step stool. You never know. So let me go get in the truck and I'll take you over there. Off of it. So that's it right there. That's the Soul Air. That's our trailer. And yeah, it looks like things are kind of decent. Not more stuff is falling off. This thing's been sitting there for about 6 months. And well, there is some stuff hanging. Okay. Yeah. Things don't age well when they're not out of the sun, and for sure this definitely does not age well when it's in the sun and dusty. And the problem is that everybody who has covers, eventually when they have covers, they realize that the covers are hurting their trailers more than helping them. So I've been a little hesitant to get a cover just because of that. All right, now there's two things here. When you back up these big stingers for the ProPride hitch, you need to be dead on the money straight in with the actual you know, the body of the ProPride. So you can see that part right there. I need to be dead on straight. Now that can turn. So if you're in a situation where your trailer is backed in and you need to come in from the side, you can just turn this guy. So some people are a little bit scared because they think it's going to be really difficult to get in. Where it is tough to connect to this is on the elevation side of it. So if you have a situation where your trailer is propped up or way down low, you know, sometimes you have to adjust the jack just to get the height right. But other than that, I mean, it's pretty simple. And I'll tell you, I mean, if you compare this to like connecting a standard trailer hitch, you know, that everybody has, you're going to be pretty surprised at how nice this is. Now I'm pretty good right there, but I don't know the height because it's been so long since I picked it up. I think the height's pretty good, so I'm going to try to go in and let's see. Like I said, it's been quite a while. All right, that thing's just money right there. Okay, so you could see how easy that was for me to back this thing in. So I have a button that gives me the rear view camera, which is really cool. All right, now I used to do this without the camera. My old truck, the Nissan Titan, did not have a camera, the 2008 Titan. Oh, I love that truck. But this thing with the camera is definitely good. I did not have a camera before, and I'll tell you what, I did it just fine without the camera. You do not need a camera, but it is helpful. So especially if you're in a hurry. But in any case, let me go out there and show you how I connect this guy. Okay, now I've connected it, but it's not actually connected. It's just inserted into this. This is the receiver part of it, and it goes in about that far, right? Now, in order to secure this guy, there's a couple things I have to do. The first thing is I have to take these off and swing this around. And again, think about this as time-wise. This is really not time-consuming at all. It's a little bit dirty, like a lot bit dirty, but it's very simple. There are a couple tools that I need. I'm going to get them from my truck. I'll be right back. All right, it's been so long, my bag of goodies was buried. Okay, so the first other thing you're going to need is a drill. That's going to be really important. You're going to need this, which comes with the hitch. It's just a breaker bar. Any breaker bar will do. The 15/16 socket. And this is the socket adapter with a 3/4 inch driver. That is for my drill. And I use that to crank the hitch weight distribution bars up. So that's something that gets done, you know, you don't need it, but it makes it a lot faster. Okay, so the first thing you're going to do is you're going to lock this thing in. Now, this hitch is severely dirty, dusty, and it's a little bit dried up right there, but so this basically just turns in, and when you connect it like that, you just pull it in and you see how it pulls in tightly, and then you secure it with your pin. This one here, same thing goes. This one's a little bit crusty, just dusty, you know, so it's a little, it basically just needs to be just used. All right, so now those guys are in. And then you just drop these pins in, it's retainer pins. All right, so now I'm connected to my truck. I could drive away and it would be fine. Oh, the other thing I have to do, forgot, my batteries are basically toast, so I have to connect it. Actually, I have this on here. I totally forgot I got to connect this guy. Otherwise, my jacks don't work. They're old batteries. Okay, so the next thing I have to do is connect these, of course. And they're crossed in there. So this one's from the right side, and the other one's from the left side. So just make sure that you cross those over. So that's done. This thing, I have an extension here because of the length of this. It's too short. So when you get one of these, it's sometimes, you know, you need to get that extension. Just depends on your truck. All right, now that part's done. The next part is raising up the jack. Now, because I have no power, I don't know if I'll be able to do that without turning my truck on. So let me see if I can do that. Before I raise the jack up, I'm going to actually raise up the weight distribution bars. Okay, so these guys here, I have, you see this tape here. This is basically what I have for my measuring gauge, and that is for the height from the ground to the middle of the trailer hitch. So when I'm loading up and I need to get the trailer back to the right height, I have this piece of tape here, so that goes to the center of the opening, so that when I pull my truck in, it'll be at the right height. I also can use this for my height of this thing. It's not really that critical, but you'll see what happens when I drive this up. So I still have the jack down. We put this up, and provided gotta make sure this is in the right spot there. I'll have it on low speed because it's just takes a lot of torque to lift this up. All right, now as I do this, I have a mark on here, but you know, you could use tape also. I just go to it, and basically when I get to that point, you know, this has really no load in it, but it's not really a huge thing. If it did have a load, I don't really notice a big difference. The higher you go, the more pressure it's putting on these bars. So in theory, you're going to get more weight distribution the higher you go. So it's probably about 7 inches or so. And then this just has to be the same. So those are the same, give or take. Doesn't have to be absolutely perfect, but the closer they are, the better it's going to be ultimately. So let me check this again. Raise this up a hair. You can see how easy it is with this drill. If you don't have this drill, you're not going to be able to crank that up very easily. Okay, now the next thing I have to do is hopefully I have battery power. I can raise up the jack. So let's retract it. Come on, baby. Now remember, this is going off my truck battery, so I should probably start my truck. Let me start my truck. All right, so it's going. All right, let me a little bit more oomph if you got a little juice flowing to it. Now, somebody hit my trailer a while back, and I had to get a new one of these, and this sucks. The power on it's just terrible. It's not as good as the one that was on it before, but that's it. I mean, it's done. The only thing you got to do is raise this up, and it takes forever to do that because this thing's so slow. But so yeah, let me raise this up before I forget to do it. So that's it, and I'll take a video and I'm ready to go. Okay, so let's take a look at what happens when your trailer sits out and you don't have any cover for it. I mean, like actual cover, not a cover, but you know, some sort of a building that you can cover this. Okay, check this out. This is what this is, man. This is the stuff that covers up your screws and it starts out like that, but what happens is it just disintegrates. And I'm telling you, I mean, this is disgusting. So this trailer was hit right here. The window was broken, that was it, but they had to repaint the whole thing. They only painted this part, unfortunately, and clear coated it, so that actually looks better than the rest of it. But they replaced this, and that's already gone bad. So I need to get some new stuff. Maybe somebody out there knows how I should replace that. But basically everywhere that this stuff is, look at this. I mean, it's nasty. It's held on by the caulking right there. You know, so I think what I need to do is, that's awesome. That's sweet. I think what I need to do is get some new stuff, obviously, but yeah, that's awesome. My Goodyear Endurance tires, let me just inspect those. They look pretty good. Those are a couple years old, but yeah, look at this. Everywhere you look, it's just gone. This piece here, realistically, I think this stuff just needs to go. Needs to go bye-bye. All right, so that's nasty. Same thing down here. It's the same story the whole way. That's nasty. Okay, so I'll tell you what, we bought this trailer new. This is a 2015. Look at this. So that's obviously gone. It actually looks pretty good when it's not filthy. So I'm not going to say that this is the way it normally looks, because it is pretty dirty, but this is what happens when you have trailers that, or our trailer that sits around. This is a Forest River, and it's basically just junk for this part of it. God, this is just terrible. Look at that. It's just embarrassing. You know, this whole front end was all nice and shiny, and it's completely gone. The Solar logo, which is raised, that's a nice logo. It's lost all of its niceness. But you know, what are you gonna do? It sits out here, and you know, this is bed liner, which is cool because it really helps keep the nicks down. There's no nicks on this when you travel, and the way that the shape is, it pulls nice. So, but yeah, this is what happens when your trailer sits out here for a while, or you know, doesn't get I don't know, it's every 6 months it gets waxed, but the wax doesn't do much but fall off. Time to take this for a drive, take it back to the house, and we're going to go camping tonight. So, all right, now I'm getting ready to go. I've got my trailer hooked up, and these mirrors are in the normal position, and as you can see, you actually have really good visibility without them being extended. These are really good towing mirrors. So I mean, I do like to have them extended and actually, you know, lifted up. I think you do get better visibility when you're going around turns, but just for everyday driving around with your trailer, it's actually pretty good. So, you know, you don't need to flip them. I am going to go out and I will flip them, and I'll show you the difference. Okay, now I have a setting on my seat. The position of the mirrors go with it, and it's for trailer towing with the mirrors in the up position. So I just pressed number 2, and it should you should see the top mirror adjust for the trailer towing mirrors in this position. So let's see here. So there it goes. All right, now that's in that position, and as you can see, that one is in that position. So both of the mirrors adjusted so that when I'm towing my trailer, it automatically gets it in that right position. So sometimes you have to adjust it depending, but as you can see, that spotter mirror at the top, that is really cool because I can see the top of the trailer. I can see all around both sides. The bottom mirror is awesome, right? I love those mirrors. So it's pretty much a very desirable setup for towing. And I'm gonna go ahead and take off and pull this guy back home. Now, in order to pull this guy, you got to set up the, I put it in tow haul mode, and that is not necessary 100% of the time, but I just like to do that. This truck automatically shuts the rear, this is a 2016, this shuts the rear parking chimes off, which is awesome, so the sensors don't go nuts when you have your trailer hooked up. The exhaust brake, I don't need that unless I'm traveling on a and actually around town, you know, the freeways or hills and whatnot. So I won't do that until I'm actually on the trip driving up the mountains. So that's pretty much it. And you'll see it shows tow haul mode goes on in my truck. And when you have the trailer brake connected, this is a good test just to make sure. You can see trailer brake is connected right there. So it's on a 10 gain, that's what it's on. And always do a little test to make sure everything's good so that when you pull away, you know, you're good. And when I drive, I always like to have my, the number of gears showing. So in this particular truck, you start out at 1, unless you're driving on the freeway or whatever, it will start out at 6. But so that guy right there shows me what I'm in. So I always know what gear I'm in. I like that. As soon as you put it in park, it goes back to not showing you. So every time you drive, you need to just press that plus button and it'll show you what gear you're in. And it's pretty cool too, because if you want to just keep it going, let's say I don't want to get out of third gear for whatever reason. Maybe I'm going into mountain areas and I just want to be in max third gear. All I have to do is do that. So it's really cool, or fourth or fifth, whatever. But yeah, so that's a cool feature. This is actually a really good towing vehicle, this Ram truck. All right, now when I get out on the private road over here, after I pick up my trailer, what I like to do is just do a test on the brakes. And so I'm just going real slowly just to see if it works. So let me hit him. And you can see my truck just stopped. And it goes. So we know that's working. That's good. And now what I'll do is I'll go out and just take a look outside and just make sure everything is looking good. So you can see the levelness of the trailer, pretty good. It's in a nice position, and certainly towing it is good. This trailer is pretty light on the tongue weight, so I need to put more stuff in the front to counteract, because I've got so much weight back there. It tends to be a little light in the front. So just one thing I've noticed about this particular trailer is that it does have a light tongue weight. So if you are looking at trailers and you're wanting a light tongue weight trailer for your truck, this is definitely one of them. But I like to throw some stuff in the front. So basically all of our clothes we'll put in the front bedroom, and then just, you know, basically everything as we're getting ready to leave, just load it up, and it tows great. So no problems at all. But yeah, so let's go around and take a look, double check, make sure that I connected everything properly. And these are good. I lost one of my covers on that guy my last trip, so make sure the doors are shut. Make sure this is, we travel with the handle inward like that, not on the other side, because we actually went to Vegas one time and we got off the freeway and the door was open. So somehow the door got open, so we realized that we always want to travel with this thing in this position rather than it turned to this position. So I know, because, you know, normally I think people would think, well, don't you want to be able to get in to it so easily, right? But this acts as a as a stop for you if you have it like that. Everything looks good. I'm gonna go ahead and pull this guy home, hopefully get there safe. It takes me about 15 minutes. All right, so we are very lucky to have two spots across the street and this one here in front of our house. I mean, it's big enough for me to pull this trailer in and still be in front of our home, which is cool. So I just pull in and, you know, get it pretty close here. So that's really cool. So we are entirely in front of our property and there's no problems. We can still put another car there. This is just one of those lucky things we have. And there's a lot of places that just don't have parking like this, so gotta be very lucky. As you can see here, the hitch is really cool. I mean, you know, there's nothing else you can say about this thing, but there's people out there that have videos on these, but there's just not a lot of videos. They seem, I think they're very misunderstood because they're so expensive. I think people realize or think they don't want to buy them, and I can understand that. It's a lot of money, but they are worth it if you're traveling and you feel like you need to have a good trailer hitch. I think this is really nice to have. It's just a lot of comfort knowing that your hitch is very good and you just don't have that same issue with other hitches. You know, I can back this up. I don't have to release the sway controls, you know, loosen them up. I can back this up, I can disconnect, I can connect. Within, you know, 5 minutes I can connect and disconnect. It just depends on how slow the jack is. That's what slows me down. That jack is super slow. But other than that, I mean, the actual connecting and disconnecting is super fast. And, you know, I've got it down a pretty good system, but it didn't take me long. You know, maybe the first time it was like 10 minutes, but, you know, it's definitely very quick. And you don't have to deal with those bars, you know, taking those, forget about that stuff. This is all, it's all in one piece here. All you do is take your stinger right there, basically your trailer hitch, as you would call it in a normal hitch, and that's it. Everything else is connected to the trailer. You don't have to do anything except for raise that up and then lower it when you get to the RV park or wherever you're camping. And sometimes I just leave it connected if we're just staying one night, and I'll drop down the jack and put the stabilizers on. But other than that, I might stay connected. I won't even bother taking that off. All right, we're just going up almost to the top of the grade, the Grapevine, and Southern California, northern Los Angeles County. Grapevine is the 5 freeway that goes up and over from Los Angeles to Bakersfield, California, and on your way to Sacramento. Starts out at about 1,000 feet and it goes up to the top is 4,500 feet, and it is about 15 miles or so, 16, 17 miles. It's a 6% grade. Just have this thing set in cruise control and it, you know, at 58 miles an hour cruise control, and it's just cruising. Tow haul mode's on, exhaust brake is on. See the gauges. Now when we crest, we're going to start going down to 6% grade. This is a really steep one. It's a short downhill, but it's extremely steep. They have runaway truck ramps for the big rigs, and let's see how the tow haul mode slows me down. I've got my 9,000 pound trailer behind us, and they're downshifted. Let's see if the exhaust brake kicks in. There's the exhaust brake. Can you hear that? Keeps me at my speed. Dropped me into fourth gear as soon as we started to go down. This isn't the steep part. In a couple of minutes we'll have the steep part. You know it's steep when you see a truck speed limit of 45 miles an hour downhill. So I've got this thing set at 58. This is California. We can't drive over 55 speed limit with trailers, so you gotta watch your speed. I'm in sixth gear right now. A lot of brake lights up there. This is an area where you need to be, paying attention. There's a lot of cars that like to go real fast and speed by you. There's a 35 mile an hour speed limit for the trucks. So I'm going to drop my speed, cruise control down to 55. Trucks get their own lane. 35 mile an hour zone. My truck went into fourth gear. I just brought my speed down to 52, cruise control. Exhaust brake kicked in. You wouldn't even know there's 9,000 pounds behind me. It's just nothing. 35-foot trailer. So my foot's not on the brakes at all. I don't have my feet on anything. Just letting the truck do the work. It's always a little eerie when you see runaway truck ramps. There's a couple of them on this route. Thing just keeps me at my speed. So there's one on the right side and then there's one on the left side, or a runaway truck ramp. Other than the crazy car drivers, it's very uneventful. This truck. considered the Bakersfield area, Bakersfield, California. It's a beautiful day, and the nice thing about today is that I don't feel any wind. There could be wind, but I don't feel it, so that's nice. Sometimes this area can get really windy, and I don't feel any wind. It's gorgeous. Gotta love this Ram truck. Alright, I'm just cruising at 56 miles per hour. Got the cruise control, and it's pretty level ground. And towing my trailer, 36-foot trailer. And you can see the mileage. This must be going downhill a little bit. No, it wasn't, but now I think it is a little bit. Still, I'm in 5th gear. You know, that's because I'm in tow haul mode, I believe. Let me take it off tow haul mode and see if that changes the, yeah, look at that, it went up to 6th gear, just like that. So that tow haul mode gets you kind of, your engine revved a little bit more, which you would think would be bad for fuel economy, but it's a little bit more controlled as far as the speed, starting and stopping. And I'm just cruising, and yeah, it's going downhill, I guess, a little bit. Can't feel that. Road construction. They got this thing all dug up here. I'm on the 99 going towards Bakersfield, California. I'll come back when I feel like it's level ground. Alright, this is as low as I can get, 18. It's been at 24, 23, 22, and finally it just dropped to 18, 17. So I think it just started to creep up just a touch, the grade, although it doesn't, you can't really see that. There's definitely a touch there. So that right there is pretty, I think 14, 15, that's about level ground, I think. Remember, I've got this big 35-foot trailer back there, bumper pole. You see that in the mirror. It's just cruising. I'm at 1100 RPM. I'm doing 56 miles an hour cruise control. Just was past. Probably should speed up a little bit. Okay, so I figured I would show you how to disconnect this thing. We just pulled into our RV park, and I am going to extend this, and I have a couple blocks there to help it because this thing's so slow. I'm going to extend that. We're going to need to bring the front of the trailer up anyway, so I figured I might as well put some blocks in there. So I'm just going to take some pressure off of the bars. Now what I'm going to do is pull these things off. Got it plugged into shore power, so I don't need that. All right, pull these guys off. Now you're just going to take this guy. You're going to do the opposite of what you did before. And then what you're going to do is extend that a little bit more. I'm going to take my drill and I'm going to release the pressure on this because this still got a lot of pressure on it. As soon as this bar starts to wiggle, you know you're good. I'll go to the other side. You can hear the trailer settling. Alright, so that's good. All we need to do now is get this aligned so that we know we can pull this guy out. And the way you do that is just figure out, you can take this guy and take this down. What I like to do is just put this where the middle of the hitch is, and I know that I'm in the right spot. Because right now I am too low, right? I need to, this guy needs to come up. So I'm gonna extend. Take a look at that height there. A little higher. That should be real close. So I should be able to pull the truck out without it being too tight. So let me go try to pull the truck out. The wheel chucks are already on. Okay, so now you can see the height of this guy. Let me take you down here. Alright, so you can see what I use this for. This tells me where that guy needs to be. Okay, so I'm completely disconnected, and if I would like to, I can take this off and make it safe to walk around because this thing is a beast. So I don't know if I have enough room to take this off. I probably need to move the truck forward, and we'll put these here so I don't lose them. But that's it. Very simple. Nothing to it. All right, we're just headed back up, going south on the 5. We're going up the Grapevine, and this is the way out of Bakersfield into Los Angeles. And it's a beautiful day. It's a little after 4 o'clock. It's about 75 degrees. The road is so bumpy that I can't even move. The trailer behind us. This is a big grade coming up. But look at those mountains right there. It's like we just go up this chute right here, and this is pretty sweet. But see the cage there. Alright, now I'm gonna hit it. So we're in 5th, and it'll shift down probably as we start. Maybe not, man. That thing's staying in 5th gear. Alright, this road is so bumpy. We're still climbing, and it went to 4th gear. We're just cruising. Now I just went to 5th gear. GoPro battery crapped out as I was starting up the ascent. I'll tell you something, this one particular lane is so bad. Probably good that I wasn't filming. Alright, I'm just going to do a test. We're starting to descent, and I'm not going to put my exhaust brake on. I'm just going to see if the engine brake can handle this. So I've got my trailer behind me, and I'm going 60 miles an hour. The cruise control's set, and it just downshifted to 4th. And I mean, basically we're cruising, and now we're back in 5th gear. Just see if it can handle the weight without the exhaust brake. So you can see tow haul mode is on, the exhaust brake is not on. So, all right, when we start going down a steep part, I'll put it back on. All right, we got an incident possibly happening. We had about a dozen supercars. We had Audi R8s. We had Ferraris. We had GTs, 911 GT3s, GT2. A McLaren, and several Audi R8s. Anyways, they're flying, and here we are going down this grade, getting ready, and there's a highway patrol that's now flying up with his lights on. It looks like going after some supercars. That ought to be interesting. Like I said, there's about a dozen of them, and although they're beautiful, they were swerving in and out of traffic like it's nothing, and doing about 85, 90 miles an hour. And it's absolutely terribly dangerous. Hopefully somebody's caught. All right, cruise is set at 63. Let's see, no exhaust brake. We're just gonna let the engine braking do it. Let's see if it works. Tow haul mode is on. Still at 63. Interesting. 6th gear did not downshift at all. It didn't need to. Let's see if it does here. It's just kind of rolling grades until we get to the very end grade. Alright, 64. This is pretty steep. Kept it back at 63. Crazy. Alright. I put the cruise at 58 because I've got these cars in front of me. Oh, it just downshifted. Downshifted twice. So we're going 60, 61. So it went from 6th down to 4th. Remember, there's no exhaust brake. This is just engine braking. With our, we got about 8,500 pounds of weight in our trailer. Oh yeah, that thing just, no worries there. So, pretty cool. Tow haul mode, it's really doing a great job. I'm impressed. Keeping the speed right at the cruise control. It's tough to tell how steep this is when you're filming, but it's pretty steep.
I didn't know that that's what it was for. That surgery.
It just doesn't feel like it. All right. Trucks use lower gears, 6% grade to follow these little rolling hills. And this is going to end our trip with some motorcycles. So, these are our numbers right there. Speed control is set at, cruise control is set at 58. Just really managing that speed so well. It's like, it's just like nothing. I'm impressed. I've actually never done this grade without my exhaust brake on, so the fact that I'm doing this without my exhaust brake, it's impressive.
Well, there's just a thing that you can't search it.
5% grade on this side. And 60 mile an hour speed control. Hey, here's one of the supercars. By the way, we never saw him pulled over, but this is what. Oh, GT3 RS. Oh man. And oh, we got a Nissan GTR. Okay. Beautiful.
Something was delivered by FedEx today, recent.
That's probably my phone case. Or no. I mean, this thing's holding the speed. It's pretty. I mean, there's no issue there with engine braking. It's amazing. Okay, well, it's not going to get any worse than this. So that's an absolute success.